What's up, JR? Garrett. Time out. That's not the Garrett Johnson, is it? What's up, bro? Hope all is well. Yeah, today, usually Vlad's kind of leading the way, but he got caught up last minute, so he said, "You think you can handle today's live on your own?" I laugh at him. How dare you? No, of course. Matthew Pizzolato. How's it going, man? So we'll be going over the market again. Any questions you have regarding the market, stocks, any stocks you have, call them out. More than happy to help you try to identify whether you should, is the risk worth the reward? I like to put it in that term because no matter what anyone says, you're always going to be taking on risk in the market. It's just whether or not it's worth it. So we'll get into it. Da-dee-da. Kaylin Good. How's it going, man? I think, yeah. I want to make sure that these profile pictures are small. So if I ever say ma'am or sir, and it does not refer to you, forgive me. All right, that's the disclaimer right now. Forgive me. What's up, Kelly? Got a few elite members. Jason Mead is in the building. Yeah, guys. Not all the elite members were in the live we just did before we got on here, but Vlad had something last minute, so I'll hold it down in the meantime. But as far as the market, so some of this may sound, again, if you were in the elite live before this one, there will be some repeating or some familiarity as what you'll be hearing. What's up? Yeah, I'm feeling well. Overall, feeling well. Just had some lunch. Had like a 10-minute window to get something. I would have been on here hangry, wilding. Brian Kenya, what's up, man? Yo, Brian, I know you got to stop, man. You got to call him out. So, in the short term, what I do want to say before we even get started, y'all, for those that may not even know about this stuff, right? A lot of times I hear the market's so unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. That's true to some extent. At the same time, knowing of upcoming catalysts and things that may affect the market can help you avoid making mistakes. All right. So what are you talking? Why are you bringing that up? What I'm getting at here is tomorrow we have what's called FOMC minutes. I believe it's Federal Open Market Committee. Pretty much has to do with the whole inflation stuff. So what I want everyone to do is bookmark this. You go to Google or go to your browser, you put economic calendar, right? Matter of fact, join me. I'll show you. So here's Firefox, Google, whatever, right? Economic calendar. Oh, sorry. All right, usually it's the first one, but find the one that says Market Watch, right? Bring it up, and this shows you every week what's to come. And what I usually talk about, or we talk about in the elite group, is the ones you really want to pay attention to are anything that say FOMC, core CPI. CPI is a big one. PEC, or PCE, core, stuff like that. What else is there? FOMC statements. So those usually have the most impact in the short term of what's to happen. It can make everything we talk about on here on the charts go out the window, really, because once you start messing with people's emotions, the normal patterns, they get tossed out the window. People start getting emotional. Put them under the wing, cradle them, make them comfy. It's okay, soothe them, put the nipple in the mouth, But that's just how it is. So when you're aware of events like that, even if you're not making money, because really your first priority is protecting your capital, right? Making money is a byproduct of doing that well. So when you're aware of things that can make the market unpredictable, you just stay out of the way. Let the craziness happen, let it digest, let the dust clear, and then take action. So in a nutshell, that's on Wednesday. Wednesday is the minutes. Thursday, we have CPI before the market even opens. So as of right now, what I'm seeing is this bit of, we're in a channel between roughly 360. So the June low, I mark it as an area of support. The most recent high, right? It came up to 380, fell down. So that's an area of resistance. right? And if you look right here, ever so subtly, you see this grouping or accumulation happening around this 370 level, right? It's a lot of choppiness. That usually happens, that's called consolidation. It happens really when the market doesn't know which way it wants to go. You know, people are just, should we buy? Should we sell? I shouldn't sell that much. I shouldn't buy that much. So it just stays stagnant for a while until a decision is made. So I'm going to mark out the top of there. So that puts it at 370. All right. So we're bigger picture between 380 and 360. All right. Then I'll make this upper trend line. I reference that high, and this high, which I already have marked. And that upper trend line that I draw is now an area of resistance as well. Okay. I'll make a lower trend line. I'm not too worried about the lower trend line because more so for the upside. But I'm thinking if we break down below 355, we may go lower down towards this lower trend line. That'll probably be around 350, 345. Reese Figueroa, how's it going, man? We got James D. Hayden. What you got for us today, James? Usually got something up the sleeve for us, you know? So as of right now, y'all, the market can go up, it can go down, but I really don't think it moves significantly until we close above 380. All right. Now, during this downtrend, you notice typical downtrends, they have what's called lower highs, lower lows, right? A stock will go like this. And notice every time I come up, it's lower than the previous one. And every time I go low, it's lower than the previous one. So usually that's how a bear trend starts, right? That's what we have here. We got a high, we got another high there, another high. So every high that I just marked out, excuse me, is getting lower. Same thing with the lows, lower, right? Lower. You might even say that's a low, but once we knock out this high here at 380, that kind of puts an end in the short term to this bearish trend, and we might see somewhat of a short-term reversal to the upside. So for everybody that wants to go bullish out there, maybe you only buy stocks, you don't play options, keep an eye on that 380. Matter of fact, just put a price alert on 380. Go to your platform, your broker, price alert, SPY, at or above 380, and just forget about it until that happens, all right? As for those that want to play the market to the downside, I would put a price alert at 355 or lower, or excuse me, I didn't mean to move that. Because once we break down through 355, we may very well go lower. That could be another opportunity to play the market to the downside. But overall, we're just in this area. And we have done similar things before, right? This is 370, up here's 390. And for what is this? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, for 5 weeks, right? Between mid-June to mid-July, roughly, this went up and down with $20 swings, all right? So it is very possible for this to chop up and down until we break above it or break below, all right? So that's the market, how I'm seeing it right now. It's iffy. You got that catalyst on Thursday, right? So you don't want to be in any positions going into Thursday. Whatever you feel you like today from today's live, if you like any of them, you don't want to hold into Thursday, all right? Because that news is announced before the market opens. And if you're in any option plays, you can't get out in time if you want to, if you need to. So be careful, all right? I will go over last week's play. Last week, I said I like Shopify. That's the one we talked about on here. It didn't work out, but in a way it did if you followed a plan, which again, you probably didn't have a plan unless you're in an elite group. All right, so last week we spoke about Shopify. I believe that might have been the only play we liked on the free group one. Oh, this is a chat. Tommy, is it Friel? Tommy Friel? I feel like I before E. Everything I learned in life said I before E makes it E sound. So Tommy Frio. Let me know if I read that right. I take pride in my reading English. It's the only language I really know, so I better be proficient at it. All right, so last Tuesday, we brought it to this group. Said, man, we really like this play. And if you got into it, you're probably, if you didn't get out in time, you're probably down. But in the elite group, we spoke about this, and this was the plan. Remember, 10-4, that is very well last Tuesday. Our plan was, so this is something we do all the time in the elite group, by the way. We do not do it in this group, but we take our time over there. All right, so last Tuesday is that green candle. If you were tuned in last week, it probably looks familiar to you. And we liked it. And you may look at this and say, man, it didn't work out. It's actually down here now. But our plan was based off risk versus reward, right? So to the upside, we wanted to play it up to 35. So that was our potential reward. Our risk, we limited it. We limited it? That sounds odd. We put a limit to our loss if it started closing below 30. So just looking at the size of those squares, it kind of helped for the visual side of things, right? I think we can all look at this and say, you know what, that upper rectangle is much greater than the lower. So the reward is in our favor. And we have a plan now, right? It's not we stay in this play and hope for the best. That usually doesn't work out well. So on, what is that? So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Last Thursday, the market itself didn't look too strong either, right? SPY. Let's look at last Thursday. And that is right here. That candle there is last Thursday. If you don't know, I'll let you know now. That is not a bullish candle. It actually looks bearish, more so bearish than bullish. And it may very well retrace back down. Well, if this looks bearish and that's looking bearish the same day, there's no reason to hold on and hope for the best, right? You have to make a decision. And I personally got into this one. And on that day, I did exactly what I just showed you guys. I didn't like the way things were looking overall in the market. It was at our area where we said, you know, consider cutting loss. I did so. And guess what? I saved myself a lot of heartache, you know, a lot of heartache, because I would probably be down over 50% right now. Instead, I took a 7% loss for that play. There were other plays we spoke about on Monday. That's another thing. A lot of times, guys, in these free group, well, in this group, I don't want to say free group. That sounds so, I don't like it. In this group, the public group, all right? How about that? You're either missing out a lot of plays because, again, yesterday, we go live every day in the elite group. And there were plays that we spoke about yesterday already that paid out today. So same thing when we spoke about this play, excuse me, there were 2 other plays that worked out. So last week, we only did 3 plays. It is what it is. That's all the market gave us. So 2 out of the 3 plays paid out very well. We limited our loss on this one. So overall, our group saw good profits. This week is starting off well as well. But again, if you guys have any plays, throw them in here. Definitely check them out. Meantime, I'm going to just go over some of the plays we talked about yesterday in the elite group. I'll bring them here. We make a plan with this stuff. Anybody ever go on a road trip without GPS to a place they've never been and make it there? Just let me know. Let me know. I'm curious because it's very similar with this stock stuff, right? If you don't have a plan, you're pretty much doomed. What's up, Carlos? Carlos, you're an elite member, right? I'm curious. Why haven't we got on a one-on-one yet? How you doing, man? Beyond Beats. So BYND for my man James. BYND. 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 I'm going to bring this up on 2 separate charts. Doing good. All right. You've been trading? You've been trading? Hmm? BYND. Sorry. Just want to check it out on a weekly as well. What we got going on. Ooh. Nice hammer candle after a steep decline. But I will say, James, with this stock, it has been out for a while. Fair enough. Did you get knocked out, or did you just decide to take a break? Because the market could do that to you. It could definitely knock you out. If you don't want to share, that's okay too. But as far as Beyond, it is one of those stocks. It wasn't always one of those stocks that is like what they call a meme stock or a stock that gets shorted. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, let me just type it up here, BYND. I'm just going to look at the short. See, short float is 36%. So it is relatively high, highly shorted stock. Highly shorted. What an oxymoron, huh? We got Shaza, or is it Shazia? I'm going to say Shaza. Amir, how's it going? Don't have any, just like, okay, fair enough. So maybe I'll show what we have as well. Again, the fact that you say you don't have any, it makes sense because we were screening the market earlier and there were no stocks that showed clear confirmation, so to speak. It was more so approached with risk versus reward, right? And having a plan with those. So with this one, this stock has never been this low. Shazia. Nice. Welcome to have you here. Shazia. I like the phonetics on that one. That was perfect. I have a story. When I had graduated, they made us do that phonetic spelling as well. My last name is Gums. So I put GUM, right? I put a hyphen in between and I put BZ. When they announced my name, they said Elliot Goomba. I said, what? Like, GUMBS is how I spell my name. And then I even put the phonetics, GUM-BZ. Elliot Goombas. The nerve. DEN, we'll check out DEN as well. So weekly candle's decent. I want to say, James, just looking at this, it seems like there's a lot of volume in this area. Again, volume, consolidation, so to speak. So I think when we can finally close above the high right there, more so maybe even that high. So like 17 and a half, let's call it 17 and a half, relatively even. And let's call in Mark Anthony Dorsen. Or is it Dorken? No, it's definitely Dorsen. Gotta be. No way I'm failing English right now. What's up, man? So 17 and a half, that'll put some whoa, I'm lagging. Trap some bears. And I think once we close above 17 and a half, you may get a nice fair play up to, in the shorter term, 22, right? And when you close above 17 and a half, your risk or your reward is potentially up to 22 and a half. Your risk may be a revisit to this area of support. Well, it's currently resistance, but if it breaks through, it becomes support. And I like that setup there. I like whenever there's more reward than risk, I'm a fan. It just has to make sense given the candles, the strength, volume, and all that. So yeah, momentum is gaining. But we don't have the ideal situation happening here yet. The best I could say is, if you're more open to risk, maybe you do enter now, right? But even if you enter now, you need to have a plan. I would say you cut losses when it knocks out the low of yesterday and you hold strong to the upside, all right? But with options, I would prefer getting the best entry because every day you're holding it, You have to pay for it. So not bad. I just think it needs to wait. Ideally, I would wait, if that makes sense. What else we got? I'm gonna go through. So yesterday we talked about PayPal. Look, again, this was not in this group. This is in our elite group yesterday. PayPal. You have hundreds of charts, by the way. Hundreds. We do it daily. PayPal. P-A-Y to the PAL. I know there's a lot of lines, but bear with me. I'll clean some of this up. Yesterday's date was 10/10. And these horizontal arrows you're seeing, I was just emphasizing what I mentioned earlier in this Zoom of the stock making lower highs and lower lows. Okay, let me clean some of these up. Not that one, not that one, this one. All right, so I saw it in that channel in the short term. We liked it yesterday. So yesterday's candle is right here. I'll zoom in even. And the note we just left was it's breaking through the lower trend line. It's increasing volume. Short-term price target is 80. If you didn't like the directional approach, we were talking about maybe doing a credit spread. And look where it got down to. So today it got down to a little below 80. But nonetheless, it closed around, let's see, yesterday it closed at 84.52. Today it got down to 79.82. So let's say at least $4, right? But with options, a $4 move could be a couple $100 return if you know how to play options the right way. So again, this worked out. This is just one play from yesterday. At this point, I want to say it's too late because now it looks like it's ready to go back up. But even when I say that, I wouldn't play it to the upsides yet, right? There's not enough information. Sam? What about Hal? Curtis? What's up, y'all? How's it going, fellas? Hal? Yeah, I believe so. Sam, all right. SAM. So again, that is an elite special right there. DEN. I forget who called it out. I apologize, but I did not forget the stock. DEN. So this is nice. Just curious if everybody doesn't mind participating. Right? This is the stock that was called out. Do you think there's a good time to buy into the upside? If you think right now is a good time to buy in, start hitting the like button. I'm gonna take a sip of this cold coffee in the meantime. I haven't seen anyone hit a like, so you guys are either ignoring me or you don't like it. You got in at 89.77. I think I see where you're at. Oh, that was you that called that out. All right. So what are we asking right now? What are we asking right now? Should you get out? Hal says no. I agree. You should not. So thank you for that. No, I wouldn't buy in, but he got in here. I believe you said 89. You said 89.77. That looks like where you got in. I want to say that's a pretty decent entry, to be honest. I like the volume. I like the candle. I would have been personally a little hesitant because it is very stretched already. I think the ideal entry was either here or here, but it is what it is. It's working out. I would have threw another tool at it just to see if we missed a bounce, and we didn't. So now looking at it, the day you got in still left some room to the upside. You know, your risk was maybe back down to here, your reward at least up to there. So you got a little more reward than risk. So yeah, I can dig it. I can dig it. With the fact that you're saying you're still holding, I want to say why, right? What is your plan? Even if you have a month left on this contract, why not take profits now? Because remember, if this starts trading sideways, you're not gaining anymore, but you are paying out because theta decay. So why, right? You made a great move. Don't let greed be the reason you lose your profits. The only way you make money on the market is by securing profits. All right. So I want to say yes, secure. And you want to know what? It may even continue going up, but we're not here to try to get the whole pie at once. You want to get you a piece of the pie and be happy with it. And you can always get more later, you know. Don't be greedy. What's the saying? Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered, right? So I think now is a great time to book those profits. You made a great entry. Let's make a great exit as well. Let's leave on a bang. So yeah, I think that's good. That's a good trade. For anyone considering getting in, I would say be careful. I wouldn't do it. Whenever things get, so the market goes through phases of contraction and expansion. This stock has clearly expanded, right? And when you can identify that it has already expanded, you want to get ready for contraction, which in stock world is consolidation, all right? Or a little short-term reversal. So I'd wait. You got Justin Hughes in the building, AKA Troll God. He's a troll, y'all. He's a troll. Whatever he's about to say, I'm gonna block him. So PayPal is not gonna drop more by next week. Excuse me. PayPal is gonna drop more by next week or before, and you need to wait for a retest. Let me see. We just had PayPal up here. PayPal is gonna drop more by next week or before. Okay, so I don't disagree. I'm curious though, Mark. What makes you believe that? You know, I do see this. I do see this. And when you say a retest, you're referring to a retest of resistance. Just want to clarify. Want to make sure. Right? You got the breakdown. You're saying it's going to retest. So I assume you mean it's going to retest resistance and then go back even lower. I may be wrong, but from what I know and understand, I think that's what he's getting at. So let me know. Don Poe is in the building. That is a cool name. I got it. Don Poe, if you don't mind, man, I might change my gamer tag to Don Poe. If that's cool with you. I like that. Don Poe. Sheesh. That's pretty dope. Don Poe. That's gonna be stuck in my head. Ooh. Time out. Who brought up Boston? Who brought up Boston Big? Two stretch. Kelly, I know you're talking about the SAM stock, two stretch, 100%. Time out. Who brought up Sam? How? Better than slap yourself. You know what? Go slap yourself, Justin. Go slap yourself. So, how? I'm curious, man. You're into you do your charting and stuff. You go fishing for stocks because this looks pretty good. This is a pretty good one. I'm just gonna mark this to identify an old trend. It started breaking out on that day. So the retest was in reference, to DEN. Copy. I thought you were talking about PayPal. Got you. So that one you're referring to a retest of maybe around 94. Okay. Either 94, because there is resistance there based off of here, or it can come back down to this moving average, which is the 13 SMA. So yeah, it broke out. It may come back to retest before going higher, or it can go lower. So yeah, fair. I like that. Appreciate that, Mark. But for PayPal, that slight trend line break below is an indication for where it's trying to go. I see it in Forex all the time. I'm glad you just brought up Forex because Forex is relatively new. I don't want to say it's new because I know it's not. People have been doing it for a few years now, but to the older generation of traders, it's new. All right. I think we could be fair. No one take offense to that. It is what it is. All right. So whether you're doing Forex, crypto, stocks, anything that has a chart, right? Or that tracks price action of these assets or equities, so to speak, you can apply all these rules the same way. Only reason why I don't deal with Forex is because it's 24/7. I don't want to pay attention 24/7. Like, I enjoy not thinking sometimes. All right. I think everyone does. Don't front. It's fun to not think at times. Right. You just want to relax. And Forex is 24/7, which means I'd be watching it 24/7 or like wanting to pay mind to it. Even though I know most Forex traders probably have an allotted time that they trade, but just saying, just saying. So yeah, back to Sam. Got Boston Beer. All right, let me see something here. I'm gonna mark out because this looks pretty good. Let me just start off with a little Fibonacci retracement action. All right, so we're at 62% retracement so far. I like this little saucer shape going on. Rounded bottom, some people might say. You have this area of participants right around here. So yeah, I kind of wish you said you got in earlier, Hal, and I agree because at this point in time, I want to say your max reward for now is maybe up to 370. And let's say your risk is back down to here. It's either 1-to-1 or you're taking on a little more risk than reward. I'm not a fan of taking on more risk than reward. Everyone right now, if you're into giving up, if someone comes up to you and says, you know what, I'll give you $5 if you give me $100, and you're okay with that trade-off, say me. No. Say I'm the fool in the chat. Justin, you don't count. We already know you would do that because you're about to troll me and say me, me, me. I know. Too late. I beat you to it. So yeah, at this point, I would consider securing profits, Hal, because we're going up higher on decreasing volume now. So whenever I see decreasing volume, I start expecting consolidation. It's been on a run. It needs a breather. You got in early. I'm hoping maybe down here, maybe down here. If you got in down here, man, you're a trooper. I give you that. I would definitely consider booking profits and wait for the next big move. And then I think the next big move, when you start closing above 390, maybe 400, it could really start ripping up again. Oh, he did take his profit. Oh, you just wanted to flex. That's all. You say, hey, look at the trade I made. Copy. I got you. Good trade, man. Good trade. Tom Janis. That's what he's waiting for. So Hal just came in for, some moral support and confirmation of what he's thinking. That's fine. That works. Again, as long as you guys are not calling out stocks, I'll just review the trades that we called out in the elite group yesterday. Next, signal is what I'm watching. Yeah, 100%. Got your piece of the pie. On to the next one. KE Holdings. This is Beak. Again, we talked about this one yesterday in the elite group. And yesterday's candle is right there. All right. What were we talking about? Well, it was breaking down through support with relatively good volume. So the support was the 200 SMA, the lower trend lines that I have marked out, and with relatively good volume. Again, I say relatively because yesterday's volume was about 13 million. 13 million for one stock can be very good for 13 million may be very good for one stock, and for another, it won't be. So example, for this stock, it's relatively good. For Apple, that would be garbage. 13 million volume is, a grain of sand for Apple. So what we were looking for is continuation to the downside with a price target of 13.25. So today it got down to 13.47. Again, it didn't get exactly what we were talking about, but I think at this point in time, why hold on for a few more pennies? Take your profit, get out the way. You made a good entry, time to make a good exit and reward yourself with some profit. So again, that worked out. We're always doing this. I think there's another one, TSM, I believe. I don't know if we left a note on that one. Yeah, we did. So Carrie Rizza, or is it Riza? How's it going, Carrie? So this was more of an illustration. I kind of spoke it out while we were doing this note in yesterday's live. But overall, we were saying, if you didn't like the entry yet, you could go with a credit spread. I won't get into those now, but pretty much what we were saying is we could see some more downside. 1, 2, our argument was that this could be the beginning of what's called a 3 crows pattern. And, your risk with this trade was a potential rebound up to maybe 70, 2.5, 75. But as long as you sold up here, you were good. And it's paying out right now as well. So would I get into it now? I would not. So that is a pro and con of being limited to 1 live a week. All right. What else we got? DraftKings is going great. Are you currently trading in the market? Just curious, Carrie. Curious, Carrie. TSM. That was TSM. What about DraftKings? DraftKings. Same thing here. I wrote, okay, so yesterday was funny. On some of the notes, I wrote 10-13. I don't know why I was thinking yesterday was the 13th, but to be honest, the 13th, which is Thursday, is a CPI report. So that might have been on my mind. So that should actually say 10. 10, 10, 22. All right. And I have an arrow pointing at yesterday's candle. So just to further confirm that, I promise this note was left yesterday. And we were saying potentially more downside, maybe enter this trade with a credit spread. And you can see bearish candle, pretty significant volume, right? And we got this level of potential support. It actually cracked through it today, but popped back up. So again, it may not seem like a lot, but if you got out near this bottom, that was ridiculous gains for the option game, right? Because 65 cents on this stock is almost 5% move. So from what was yesterday? Yesterday it closed at 1428. Today's low was 1259. It was probably up 10% or down 10% at some point today. So if the stock is down 10% and you have an option playing to the downside on this stock, you're easily looking at over 50% profit. No joke. So if you don't know options, you got to learn them. So very little right now. If you don't mind me asking, why is that? Right? Do you do any charting? I need someone to talk to, all right? And you seem to be participating. So if you don't mind these questions, yeah, if you do mind, put that emoji with their arms like that. Stranger danger. What else we got? Ford. We talked about Ford. Where is it? FORD. There we go. Again, I told you I wrote 10-13 on a couple of these. Still learning. How's that? How are you learning? Is it like DIY, or do you just tune into these and pick up what you can? Again, this is supposed to say 10-10. I put PA. PA for us stands for price alert. Um, and I put that price alert for maybe people that want. Actually, you guys can also put a price alert at $13 for Ford as well. That could be a good entry point to play up to around 14 and a half, 14 bucks. But until then, I would stay away. But uh, we had one of our good members call this out, and I was like, you know what? I like this play from the approach of risk to reward. And that's what I have drawn out down here. If I enter this trade yesterday, we really didn't have any confirmation signals, the ideal way we play things. But as a swing trader, you're near an area of support, right? And you might go for a little rebound. So the plan was, hey, we cut losses if we start closing below yesterday's candle, and we take profit if it gets up to the upper end of this square. And sure enough, that's exactly where it got up to today. So if you took this trade yesterday from the elite group, I would say definitely, definitely want to take profits. Tune in things like this, but hopefully you have someone helping me soon. I would love to learn so much more. Fargo AWOL. Again, I think I read that right, Fargo. But let me know if I botched it. Carrie, if you don't mind, we actually do have like a program that goes more in depth. If you're interested in that, just say coaching, and I can have one of our members reach out to you. We do have some free content that you can watch as well. So you can just drop that in. That goes for anybody. I'm not really into making plugs like that, but you said you want to learn this, so I figure that we have the resources. All right. And you may hear from either Chris, probably Chris. I'll ask Chris to reach out to you. I'm gonna actually write. I'm gonna have to put coaching. Carrie, Rizza. Yeah, it'll either be Vlad. Oh, Fargo as well. Got you, brother. F-A. Fargo. AWOL. So yeah, you'll either hear from Vlad, Chris. They have the same last name. I believe it's Chris Taman. I think so. Oh no, Santiago. Sorry, Chris Santiago. But it'll be someone that works with us that reaches out to you. All right. And if you're not sure, you can always message me and say, "Is this guy legit, Elliot?" And I'll let you know. All right. I got a text that you were live. Yeah, I sent that text. I wanted to start on options if anyone's available. Carlos, I have a new link. It says Vlad, but it was me. I sent that message. You should have my Calendly schedule where you're able to book your sessions, Carlos. If not, let me know. I can send it to you, the updated one, and you can, book that session. And it's not even a question of, hey, are you creepy? Francis, you're funny, man. That is creepy. I was like, man, I thought I was talking to Vlad. No, so I don't know if it pops up with Vlad's name, but we have like we're not the reason why I don't mind talking about it, because we're not the only company that does it, right? Every company has these mass contact lists where you can message people. And I just sent that out. That's all. I don't know who it says it's from. I know for me, it's a random number. But that's what that was. Creepy. That's hilarious. All right, so what time we got? 2:46. What's the market doing? So yeah, those are all the plays for the most part that we spoke about yesterday. It was only Monday into Tuesday. For many people, we might have made enough profits where you don't have to trade for the rest of the week. You got your money, you're done. You want to wait, it is what it is, right? So we shall see. We shall see. Let's see the market. Let's do a little wrap up, right? And this is why I don't get too caught up in what's happening during the day, because Earlier today, we had a nice green candle, and now we're at a doji candle. That is currently below, excuse me, that 360 support, all right? Earlier in the live, we said, man, we want to close above this, and we're back below it. So we can't make it to the next floor if we're not knocking the roof down. So we're waiting. Do we go bearish? I don't say we go bearish yet because we're still above area of support. So we're waiting, right? Consolidation means we wait. At the same time, look at the SPY. What's the VIX doing? And the VIX is at an area of resistance. If you don't know, you're about to know. The VIX and the SPY, for the most part, do the opposite of each other. So if you're at an area of resistance and it's struggling to break out, while the SPY is at an area of support and it's struggling to break down, you want to be careful. All right, simple as that. Maybe one of those days we don't get into any trade. I feel like market is at a crossroads. And Aaron Chala, shout out to you. You just pretty much wrapped it up. We're waiting. We got to see. All right. So overall, I wouldn't get involved in anything today. It's a matter of waiting. Thursday, I think after Thursday, we'll have after that catalyst is announced, we'll have a better idea of which way this market wants to move. But yeah, that's what it is. So you have your technicals, but really, I want to say the mental side of this is really more important than, because we could sit here and mark charts up all day and say, I think it'll do this at that. But if you don't have the mental fortitude to stick to a plan, stay disciplined, be patient, which is very hard to do, you'll be out here trying to force the issue, trying to put, a square block into a circle, right? And you're going to be out here struggling, getting frustrated, losing your money, being discouraged, and just really believing that this market is unpredictable. And I always feel like it's not. It's not as unpredictable as people say or feel. But I understand why they say and feel that, because if you're not aware of certain things, it can seem a certain way, All good. I took profits on BA. Look at that. Aaron took profits on her BAC play. What did BAC do? So BAC is Bank of America, for those that don't know. I believe you played it bearish. You probably did a bear call, right? And today it very well did go lower. So she made her money. That's what we do in the elite group. You need to be elite. You can either be elite or struggle and learn the hard way on the market and pretty much pay the same toll. You can either lose your money here or invest in yourself, so to speak. Seriously. The decision is yours. You guys want to look at the futures market with me? I don't mind checking this stuff out. Got a stale dollar. Again, VIX finding resistance around that 32 level. SPY's finding support around the 360. So again, just further confirms what we were talking about. You can see some people running out of the dollar, getting into some of these other currencies. So overall, we're waiting. The market isn't giving any clear indication of which way it's going to go. So there are no favorites for today, really. I want to say there aren't any. Nothing that really follows all the rules or the ideal entries that we would like to see. So unless you guys have other stocks you want to drop in, I'll let this one go, and I will see you all next week. All right, take care, and again, thanks for tuning in.